Live. This is the Be Your Best University. We are going here strong. Michael Afani X with IQ Heavy, the master trader, as we are talking about things that you need to hear. Nvidia earnings tells a lot about the weak, a lot about the strong, a lot about a lot of different plays, especially the AI plays. A lot of different moves have been made, and we see it reflecting in the broader market. We see definitely a downturn in the market, and so our good brother is gonna give us the strategies to make sure that we master emotional intelligence. That's something you've been struggling with. We've been doing a whole series on mastering emotional intelligence. That's our focus. We definitely speak to the divine masculines, making sure that we get back to that original thing where we came together as a pride, and hunted together and did what we needed to do in order to feed our families. And so it's that same play, that same energy. So without that, no further ado, talk to our master trader, good brother IQ Heavy. Give him a round of applause no matter where you are.
Oh, yeah. How everybody doing? Nice to be back. Know the vibes. Know what I'm doing. Hunting, shooting, killing, getting to a mill. That's the goal.
Yes,
But
sir.
right now we're gonna be jumping in. I go by IQ Heavy if you don't know me. Ivan if you do know me. And what we're looking at right now is Nvidia earnings. Yeah, I like to jump straight into it. We don't even gotta go with the fluff. We just jump right into it so you can get the raw, uncut, right info quick to you. 39 billion. That's what we're looking at as an increase. 12% increase on the previous quarter. That's a 78% rise year over year. This is talking about the revenue for the fourth quarter, talking about Nvidia. Nvidia, with their earnings. The data center revenue, 35 billion, up 16%. That's 93% from the same period last year. It's crazy. Net income, 22 billion, reflecting a 14%. Get the 14% increase from the previous quarter with an 80% surge year over year. I'm gonna go on a bull case. I'll go out on a limb right here. Let you know, but we will clear 200 for sure by year end on Nvidia, just based off of those earnings right there. That's not even getting into the fiscal year, going into their forward guidance. They actually do have forward guidance. Chips are being brought up like nobody's business. Despite the robust figures, Nvidia's gross margins has experienced, oh, it did have a slight decline from Q4. Looking ahead, Nvidia's projects quarter revenue 43 billion, surpassing. Yeah. Yeah. So basically beat on the top line, middle line, and the bottom line. So Nvidia is actually one of those stocks that actually hold the market up or down. It's a tech play, but it has the ability to hold everything up. It's more of like I want to say almost 7 or 8% of the whole S&P, which is massive. So if it has a bad day, everybody's having a bad day. If it has a good day, everybody has the ability to have a good day. The market was in a downtrend, and Nvidia basically pulled it out of a downtrend. We were free falling, and it brought us up to. Let me take a look at the SPY real quick. Follow me in real time.
And I love what you're doing here, brother, because one thing I see that is so important is just knowing what to look at when we're talking about looking under the hood. And so, also as you're going through those numbers, as to best of our knowledge, what are some of the key numbers to look at? Why are some of those numbers important? Just to kind of give a perspective, and then just kind of give a background just for those, break it down, because a lot of us are simple like myself.
Copy that. Copy that. I feel where you're coming from. Yeah, and then sometimes we just need a, 1, 2, 3, ABC, make it simple for everybody. So Nvidia currently is sitting at $124.92. We're looking at it on the weekly time frame right now. This is looking to get into a trade. We're above the 200 moving average, which is down at $52. So granted, That's where Nvidia. That's the 200-day moving average for Nvidia. It would have to fall all the way to $52. Now, granted, with all of what's going on and them being the top leader in the tech space, just about, and them having all these need for compute and AI being what it is, and we understand that AI is going to keep moving forward in the future. It's just ask yourself a question. Right now, if you had to take a gamble, do you expect Apple to be there in 20 years? Do you expect Microsoft to be there in 20 years? Do you expect Amazon to be there in 20 years? The answer is probably going to be a quick yes, because we all use these services. It's rooted into our society until it's not. So, therefore, we would have to look at NVIDIA because all of those companies that I just mentioned have to go to NVIDIA and they get their chips. They all use AI compute, they all use cloud software, they all use digital. So that's another form of compute. So in those situations, NVIDIA is like the shovel while everybody's digging for gold. In order to get the gold, you're going to need a shovel. Everybody's going to need to buy NVIDIA. So they will keep going up. There's no way they're coming back to the 50 or to the 200-day move. Well, let me not say no way. In a crash in a market scenario where we have a recession, that would be my ideal spot to pick up NVIDIA. So if you happen to ever see us have a crash and you see NVIDIA at $52, it is on sale and you should buy as much as you can. Do not worry about it falling to the lower 40s. That is just going to be support for it to bounce, for it to get back to 140. That's just sometimes how the market works. They like to shake out weak hands, but the overall sentiment is that NVIDIA is going to be able to pull the market as well as the AI sector to the top bullish. So I'll even give you some price targets over the next, give it day or two. Well, going into the market next week, we should get like a little bit more of a correction. I would even see, because right now what we got is a bounce on the market, but the market overall was falling. I don't know if anybody's seen today, but President Trump and Zelensky got into a little back and forth today. Trump be it trying to keep it on peaceful terms. We're trying to get it resolved so there's no war. It seems Zelensky is he has different agendas than mine. So he was kicked out of the White House and told not to come back until he was actually ready to have peace talks. Because he doesn't realize that America is backing the war that he's currently fighting. And Donald Trump let him know very brazenly, if we pull out, you're going to get your ass beat. And we're trying to be nice and let you know you're going to need to make a deal. So a deal will be made. With that being understood, expect more fear and more volatility to the downside because we do know that there will be a positive outlook on the other side of this. So in the midst of it, you might see NVIDIA right now come down to about 119, 107, and then I dare say 96. This is provided we looking for max pain, but you want to keep these on your radar for right now. But if you're just looking at it on a daily time frame, the trend is down. Well, let me be very clear. The trend is down. Tech is not broken out. Bulls are not in control. Bears are still in control. The Bulls are just taking over for a second. So I would expect us to get to a certain level and then people to take profits and us to sell back off and start to take a longer, harder correction to the downside. The last level I'm looking at again is 114, and that goes in between the 119 and the 104. Yeah, so like I said, I'm seeing a lot of downward pressure on it in the midst of just a short daily. If we're looking at the weekly, I would say we have the ability to pop out, but we have to break above 134. So once we break above 134, I'd load up on calls and ride the wave to the upside because we're out of the woods. But just to give a transition over to the SPY so we know what the levels are. The SPY is currently testing a key support level, which is currently 594.18. It's had support there at this level around early January, as well as December, late December, as well as early and late November. Yeah, early November. So we've had support around this area since about November, I would say December time. So we're just kind of bouncing inside the range. If we lose this level, however, which is the 592, 94 area we're currently around, my next level of support is not until 525, which is roughly, give or take, 90, about $70 on the spot to the downside. That type of move could ensue fear to get everyone to start selling and taking profits because they anticipate the market going even further down, which at that point will be the self-fulfilling prophecy because they will be taking profits, which will cause the market to go further down, which will bring us down to about 497. And then I believe we might even go so low as to touch 469. Now I'm a little on the optimistic side of us not going that low. I do think we'll have the ability for the Donald Trump to come in and make sure that we go to the upside because he does ensure that this market does stay going. He's not really what, it's Donald Trump. Come on, we all know how he move. He not having no down market on his watch. He gonna make sure that they got the market rolling. If he got to tell the Fed that he got to cut rates, whatever he got to do, that's what they will do. So we will get the market back up. So in the meantime, I would say in the near time, the next, I would say 3 to 4 days, we will be bearish. So look to pick up plays that are down. Plays are stocks or crypto or options. Look for them to bottom out. Grab those plays at that point, and I would say go out to May with your contracts. If you're grabbing contracts, you want to go out to May. If you're grabbing shares, you want to sell in April. You want to take your profits at the top of April because we will have a down move in May. They have the sell in May go away, and that usually tends to keep the market moving downward as well. But just to come back full circle to Nvidia, other plays that you can make off of the Nvidia play. I have a C3 AI on the board. That's another AI play. That's more of my mid cap. So, for some people, Nvidia is a pretty high price stock. It might be out of the ballpark for you. So I gave you C3 AI. That's another one. That's mid tier. That'll keep you in the ballpark. And if you need something to appeal to, you just, you working all the time. You don't really got the money to really even go mid cap. Trust me, I understand. We all started somewhere. So I got the BBAI for you, which is another sentiment play on the AI sector, which will also get movement off the traction of NVIDIA. And they just recently inked a deal with the government. So the contract that they have will allow them to keep moving forward in the future. And they're on sale right now at 50% off. They were just at about 9.99. You can check the price. It's funny to say it like that, 9.99. They're currently at $5 and change. So that's a deal. You want to jump into plays like that because it's in the penny market currently now. But based off of the government contracts, it will no longer be a penny contract or penny stock. That stock will make it to 10, and in the coming years, 15, and then, in 20, and so on and so forth. That's one of those grow your portfolio, build your investment, take it to the moon from there. It's not a moon play, but you know what I'm saying. You can start small with a small portfolio, and you'll be able to take that portfolio and double it, quadruple it if you got the patience and the discipline. But if you're just looking to make a quick double, that'll be your first move. And if you're looking for some other plays that are currently down, we'll be looking to the minor sector for Bitcoin. As much as you're going to hear all of the FUD in the news about Bitcoin being horrible and Bitcoin being down and it crashing, these are the times that you want to buy. So, like right now, you want to pick up Riot, you want to pick up Mara, you want to pick up BITF, you want to pick up HUT. You really can have your crapshoot. You just want to know that any one of these miners that you pick up have at least 10. I would say I'll even go 8. We'll go fair. We'll go 8 to 10,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So that way, when Bitcoin makes the move that it makes to the upside, those companies will take a fair gain gap from it. So they'll jump a good 30, 40%. And then due to that, it'll cause the FOMO, which will cause everybody to start buying it, which will push it back to 100 and to 200%. So another way to grow your portfolio fairly quickly. I did it myself that way with the miners. Took Riot from about 3 to about 33. It came back down to about 8 or 9, or where I just recently seen her. So it's almost like full trip for me, but I've seen it even close to a 4 or 5. So there's always room for it to go lower. Just understand the potential for it to go higher. So don't get shooken out of the play because of the fear. So you just hold tight, buy more. Red day, buy more. Market down, buy more. And when we get to the point that it's a sell time, and you'll know due to fear and greed, I'm looking at the fear and greed index right now. I don't have my screen up with you guys, but the fear and greed index right now is at 20. That's extreme fear. Just yesterday we were at 16, which was extreme fear. The previous day before that we were at a 10. Now when we were at 10, I was buying as much as I could. When we got to 16, I emptied my pockets. I understand we're at 20 now. I've already made money from the time of the 10 to the 20. Now I could sell and take the profit now, but again, we're still in extreme fear. So what I do is a little strategy. You can, take it, guys, if you want. If you're coming in brand new and you don't really know what to look for, you don't have to really, you don't have to have the ability to chart. You can just look at the news and you can use practicality. Fear and greed is an index. Whenever we're in extreme fear, you buy. When we get to neutral, you sell. Some would say, well, wait till we get to greed again. Man, if we get right here, if we go from 20 to 50 and you don't take profits or you don't sell and we fall from 50 back to 20, you just wasted all of that time. There's no reason for you to do all of that unless you plan on buying more. Now, if you want to round trip it, by all means, do it that way. But if you want to make money in this market, you ride it from the 20 to the 50, you take that profit. If it's going to keep going, you have the ability to reinvest from the 50 to ride it up to the 100 or as close as it can get to it. But you also give yourself the ability to, take your skin off the game, take profits. So you have the ability to keep playing versus not moving any of your funds and then you stuck. And now you're in a situation where you like crypto's a scam, the stock market's a scam. Everything's a scam when you don't have a plan. That's why I tell you, plan or you're gonna fail. Gotta have an entry point and an exit point. If they do this, I'm gonna do that. If they don't do that, I'm gonna do this. If you're not willing to put yourself in those type of thought processes, don't even get into the market. Just keep your day job.
Man. My boy. Did you leave the stove on? You're
Just want
cooking.
to get it, giving the people,
My boy
a lot of times
cooking,
people
man.
be giving them that BS knowledge. So you want to
Hey,
make sure you hit people with the
hope
real
y'all
raw.
taking notes. Hope y'all taking notes, man. Keep the cook going. Keep the cook going. You know what I mean? Because the other thing we also had as a topic is as mastering in the bear market. So you're already giving them the focus. So definitely go through us. Usually just the different cycles. Kind of the long. Give us
Yeah.
the long view. Even a little lesson on money, because I love what you said before. It's not, we don't have an issue with money. We just don't understand how money works. So talk to the people how money works.
Yeah. So yeah, when I was touching on that, it's more so just that's the financial literacy we be lacking as a culture, as a people, as a society. Actually, a lot of times people make it racial, but it's furthest from it. It's not actually racial. The only color is green. If you know green, it works out for everybody. But what most people in our culture, we see it differently due to lack of the financial literacy part of it. So we know how to make money. Everybody can make it. We probably make money the best, but we spend it the worst. So in those situations, the lack of understanding how to invest, where to invest, when to invest, why to invest, is just basically having a bunch of money. So a lot of times we rich but poor at the same time. So we don't have any assets. So in these situations, I teach people to buy assets. If real estate is an asset, if you're using it as a rental property, so you're making money off of the property. If you buy a house, it's not an asset, it's a liability. You're losing money just slowly over time. I understand that they teach you that it appreciates in value, but that's the American dream that they sell to you, but it's a lie. It can't be the truth because nobody's ever made it out. not off of the middle class part of it. There is either the poor or you're rich. It's the haves or the have-nots. There's no in between. Problem is we was taught that there's an in between. We was taught that there's a middle ground. We was taught to save. We was taught to invest and save. Put your money in a bank. Have a little mutual fund, 5% here. Yeah, yeah, it's all bullshit. You're not gonna make no money that way. And they understand it. When you buy a house, you know who wins? The bank. Because you take on a mortgage 15 and 30 years that you pay double what the price of the house is worth. The house worth five. If the house costs 500,000, you pay a million. And you ask yourself, what was it worth? You had to work every day so you could pay off that house. So you either take one trip or two trips a year. So you'd be stressed out and
Facts.
don't
Facts.
lose don't lose the job. Now the house gone, bank take it back. They're gonna sell it to the next lowest bidder because they just want to get the money. The bank is about getting to the bag. They're not worried about you at all. So when they sell the middle class these lies and they buy in, they know that they're gonna take your money. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is you can put yourself in the best position because you already know how to make money. You're already making money. You can replace your job with just putting yourself into the stock market. You don't have to know how to invest. You just need to know to invest. And when I say that to some people, it's contradictory. I tell them, well, think about it. You wake up in the morning. What do you do first? Go to the bathroom. Most people, you use the facilities, tea, shit, whatever you're doing. Just tissue you use first. If not, you brush your teeth, wash your face, toiletries. These are things that are investable. You could be putting your money somewhere that you understand that it doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be an investment where you know it's going to make you money over time. Toothpaste, easy investment. Hair products, easy investment. Food, easy investment. So it's not so much that we don't know what to invest in. It's just that getting over that fear of investing. We've been not been taught to invest. So when people come to us now to invest, it sounds like a scam because we've been in struggle mode for so long that we don't realize we never actually had financial literacy. Our bank was taken from us in the 1800s. We had the Freedmen Bank, but I don't know how many people know their history, but the Freedmen Bank is what us, as coming out of slavery, was supposed to have to teach us the financial literacy aspect of what we weren't learning. Because we don't learn that. We never learned that. We didn't learn it in school. They don't teach you. So prior to it, they all had this knowledge. So there's other cultures, not pointing any fingers, but there's other cultures that have these understandings as regular norms. And for us, we were never given it. So in these situations, that's what I come on to give back the financial literacy to people because it's not about making the money, it's about where we're putting the money. So as long as you invest, whether it be crypto, whether it be stocks, whether it be property, and I do say property, like I said, maybe not a house for yourself, but a property, a duplex, something where you're renting something out. You go to the best house with the worst block, or the worst house on the best block. Apologies. But in those situations, that's how you invest. You just want to put yourself in a position to have a plan, have a goal, and set yourself up to not have to keep going to work for the same person that is taking your money every single day. And at the end of the day, that's all they're giving you is money. You go give your time to work, you go give your energy to work, you get back money that you end up spending. So in the grand scheme of it all, what did you really get for your time? Nothing. When it really dawns on you, we're usually older in our 40s and stuff like that, or 50s. I'm younger. I'm only 36, but I be around a lot of people. I notice that they be in their 40s and 50s and go, I gave all this time to the job and I don't really have too much to show for it. And all of the money that I did have is gone now. So it's like I should have just invested in me. And I tell people that's the best advice. It just takes so long for us to get there because we didn't have the financial literacy part. That's why I'm big on financial literacy.
Man. You just hit it on the head right there, man. I hope y'all listening on that, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Talk that truth. IQ heavy went heavy on y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's such facts right there, man. we really don't realize so much has been taken from us, even where it comes to even just bartering and trading. We used to come from a society that valued ourselves on a level of our skill sets. We made sure everybody had a role in the society, and it was much more on that. We used to make sure we traded with each other on that level, and so that's how we also increased our value. Because everybody had a role, everybody had something to do. And so that's one thing we see here now. To the point of my brother's making, and the way that money is circulated. It's used against. It's not even necessarily the best provider being the best player in the market. And so we have to be overstanding of the truth my brother just dropped, because that is what you have to master as it relates to the bear market. Because you have to get through the bear market in order to get to the good. You can't have the good without the bad. You know, you have to plant the seed when it's bare. You have to clear the ground. You have to clear the grounds. It may not You may not be sure what seed will root, but you have to trust nature. You have to trust your divine timing. Wisdom is not just knowledge; it's knowledge at the right time. So you have to make sure that you time yourself. And the beautiful thing about the market is having different accounts. You can have different strategies that allows you to play off a mistake that you may have made in one other account. And so it does allow you to still recover and allow you to look more broadly in the way that you approach this game, and just for you to be able to solve it and realize this is GTA on a different level. You know, uh, really, as you to your point of what you're saying, Nico Bellic. You know, we've been we've been programmed, prepared for Eastern Russian group of voltage, the way that they talk. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
a
all
fact.
in it.
It's
It's
facts. I
all
know. I
rooted.
know what you mean on it. Trust. That's facts.
So it's all programmed. It's all part of a story, because we were programmed to be CJs, all CJs in the Grand Theft Auto world, and so we have to be wiser than that and be able to see how we can now use this game station, as we play games, to be able to Twitch and stream, and then still be able to have conversations that take us to the next level. So definitely.
Look, play on that. You use it like a game. I tell people, like, when you in the game, think of that. When you play in a game, how easy is it for you to get money in the game? You might go, yeah, I break all the rules though. I mean, you could look at it that way, or you could look at the process that you take. You find the quickest route. It's like a flip. Start with five. What most people, you know what? Most people don't know. You only need 11 flips to $1 million. I'll let that set in for most people. You start with $500, 11 flips, you had 1 million. As much as people chase concepts that are so wide outside of, like, I need $1 million and 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, or I need to, even with the 10, with 100,000 10 times, it's not a hard concept. It's just most people go, well, I got to get to the 100,000 first. That's not 10, that's that 100,000. And I go, well, if you break it down into 11 flips, does it feel like 1,000 or 100,000? So, 500, and then you go to 1,000. It's your first flip. 1,000 to 2,000. Your next flip. 2 to 4. 4 to 8. 8 to 16. 16 32. 32 64. 64 128. 128 5. 128 256. You got 256 up to the 128. You only had 5 flips. You still got a few more flip, or you 7 flips, 6 7 flips in at that point. From the 256, you at 512. From the 512, you right at a 120. You had 1,024,000. Look how fast that was. That was so quick. And it might sound like, nah. Right when you put it that way, people will understand it, because you've had $500 before. Everybody's had $500 before. If you've had $1,000 before, I'll go on a limb and say you've had $2,000 before. I'll go on a limb and say you've had $4,000 before. I'm gonna go on a limb and say you've had $8,000 before. Now, some people in the comments will be like, "No, no, I didn't ever have that." Well, most people got income taxes. I've seen it. I've seen people with $8,000 at one time before. I've seen them not even have to save it. I've seen them have it at one time. I've actually seen people have $10 and $12,000 at one time. because they wait in the income tax time. And I go, do they realize they like half of the flips there? I don't even think they get it. If they just took the 12 or the 10 and started from right there, but they don't even need that many flips. They only needed, I don't understand. But I try to put it in perspective for them. Just break it down for yourself and make it easy. Make it simple. We got so much time that we wrapped up in going to work, going to school, going to this. You're going to do something for someone else. Take a second, pause, breathe. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Is it beneficial for you? Or is it because someone's telling you it's beneficial for you? Because if you take a second, I'm sure you'll realize that those 10 flips or 11 flips is easy to do. You just never thought about it. You didn't have the time.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact. We got to take the time, the long play. The that actually gets to a story I heard from the Al Qadir. Taking the long route. It was a story of a wise man or a king. He put out a decree, and he wanted them to reach the treasure. You know, and so it was this general. He thought he was wiser than everybody in the land. He was like, I'm gonna take the short route. You know, even though he knew the short route was known to be dangerous, he was like, nah, I'm strong enough. I'm the general. I can get through this. Um, before he was on his way to the short route, a gentleman in the green robe, a mysterious traveler, the green robe showed up. Let him know from the wind, because sometimes we got to listen to the wind. The wind is wise. Says, you know, it'd be wiser that you take the long route. As opposed to the short route. He was like,
Hmm.
"Man, I'm not listening to you, a stranger. Like, what you talking about?" Is what the general said. And so as we know, with pride before pride goeth the fall. So he still carried on to that short route. Even though he was warned. And so what happened through? He goes on through the short route, and on his flow is attacked by bandits. And as he's attacked by bandits, he barely survives to get out there, crawls all his way out, almost just he's almost just banged up, and at the end of it, at the end of the route, because now he can't even make it to get the treasure that he's even set out for, because he's in such conditions. And
Hmm.
the traveler showed up again. The mysterious traveler showed up at the end. He was like, "You tricked me. You knew this would happen, right?" He was like, "Nah, you said, wisdom speaks. Wisdom usually warns, but a fool still chooses, you know. So it's these choices, it's these desires,
Yeah.
and always wanting to cut cut the process down or cut corners more specifically, as opposed to, just building ourselves up, taking a patient route, really just putting the money together, and having a clear plan, looking at, because there's, anything can work well invested, but if we're everywhere, then it's hard for anything to work. And so that's definitely a good point there, just making sure that we're patient and treating it like seeds we're planting, as opposed to just quick flips that can then, but ultimately long haul flips, more so leap flips. Is more so is the type of flips we talking about. Those type of leaps, and more than just the leaps of faith. You dig?
Yeah, always when in those situations, if we don't realize like it's literally like what you just said, planting a seed, you planting a tree. We could plant a tree, but then you think about how long does it actually take a tree to grow? Most people forget the concepts, so they just want to. You see the first little sprout, you start eating or trying to take what you can from it. It won't be too much. You wait for the tree to actually grow. And at that point, if you take everything from the tree, then you gotta wait for it to bear fruit again.
Mm.
If you plant seeds, then those trees will grow, and you will build yourself a forest. And then you will have the ability to bask in all the fruits of all the glories because you've built out a forest to the point that when you take fruit from one, you'll be able to go to another and take fruit from another. By the time you come back to that same tree, it'll be like the fruit never left. There'll be more fruit. hence being fruitful. That's where these terminologies come from. And in my experience is what I'm learning.
Sure. To your point of that being fruitful, uh, the Most High said another part of that: be fruitful and multiply. And so
Hmm.
people are just being fruitful without the multiplication part, is what we're witnessing, and that's the imbalance we're seeing in the world. They don't want to take care of the children, which is why they end up being children themselves. And so take care of them children. Make sure you be a lovepreneur. Make sure you start that family business. Make sure you don't sit back on your talents, because your family needs you to get more financially literate so you can take it to the next level. Make sure you stay focused on the mission and master sales. Sales of your product, of your service. Don't be afraid to get out there and explain what you do every day, not just someday, every day, right? And not just the days that you like it, you feel me? Because it's the days that you don't want to do it is when you will take yourself to the next level. It always is. It's that friction, it's alchemy. It's that science, it's that divinity, that
Gotta
that
show
that
up.
that
Gotta
resilience. You got to
show up.
show up. Yeah, you got to show up for yourself. That push is the key that always makes things happen, especially when we least expect it. Because the Most High is masterful at surprising us and still delivering things in a way that we didn't expect it, and still being the very thing we asked for, and even more than what we anticipated for if we allow it. But most times our human perception is limited, and so we have to be more honest and more overstanding and connect back to source if we seek to be more omnipresent or omnic focused than what we need to do here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keep cooking with them, because we got about 3 more minutes. We want to hit that 40 mark. We want to hit that next level, in terms of the mastery, because we cutting them up as we building. You
Oh
did.
yeah, no, I got you. I could drop them some plays real quick. Actually, let me go into my bag real quick. I know that's what y'all be coming for. Everybody want to make some money. They want to know, well, what's the what I need to get into? What's the entry? What's the exit? You talking, but which I ain't made no money. All right, I heard you. Give me a second. Everybody want to make some money. All right. Remember, when you make the money, what you gonna do with it though? Got a plan for it? Or you just out here? That's all I'm saying. Make a plan. Put a plan in play. I try that thing move a lot different. Well, I already told you Nvidia into the downside, but right now I'm giving you the BBAI. But I want you to take BBAI and actually buy shares of it. We could get the options if you want. I wouldn't play the option games right now because we got war happening possibly. So you don't want to play with the gloom and doom. The market is still in a downtrend. So in this situation, you want to accumulate shares. So BBAI is definitely what you want to get into right now. And I'm pulling up my board right now. So I got a whole bunch of plays actually. Just trying to figure out what to pick from. It gets like that. All right, so we got Palantir on the board as well. I don't know if you are familiar with Palantir, but they are a great buy right now. Another one we are looking at is SoFi. These are long haul. These are long plays, by the way. When I'm telling you these are great buys, it's because these are going way higher. Just so you know, that the Nvidia in play is 200 by the end of the year. So that's the price target. So you need so you know you clear. You can get you good. That's going to 200 by the end of the year. Don't have no worries there. And Alibaba is a good play. They coming back to China sector is going to do well. Trump and his tariffs at the same time they're getting tariffs on China, not from Trump, but from the other countries. I can't remember what the article I seen it was though, but we got Bank of America. Yeah, even Bank of America is seeing Price targets at 200, and I got some even with higher prices than that for Nvidia's play. So we definitely go to Nvidia. BBAI, that's going to be 10 to $15 by the end of the year. It's currently at like 5. The next one, Riot, that's going to be at 30 by the end of the year, maybe 40. But I give modest, you know, I don't I under promise under promise over deliver. So in these situations, you don't really got to no brainers. Basically, you'll see. You could check the history of the stock. You'll understand that it's gone there already. Where it's going again. It's just based off the trend. Understand that they went there before with less Bitcoin. They currently have more Bitcoin on their balance sheet, so they're going to go way higher than they previously went. Another one is BITF. That's just I don't even know why I'm giving y'all BITF. This is still right there. BITF is at like a dollar 20 something right now. Maybe 30. Matter of fact, let me take a look at it for you. Quick.
Oh, like 114, 114.
Yeah, BITF is going to she at 116, but just in the next 3 to 6 months, 387 is the first target. Yeah, I know. Yeah, to let you know what I mean when I talk about these flips, this is one of my flips. This is a flip right here. I'm gonna come in. You know what? I might even live trade this. Might do it tomorrow. I come in, right? I see where they are. All I do is check with the company, make sure everything's looking copacetic, making sure they're not going to do a reverse split on me where I get less money or less shares because they take my money and pocket it. When I know Bitcoin's about to make a move, and I understand that I've already tried this play out for months, even years actually, but for months over the last couple of months to see what the target is. We're going to 387. It's at a dollar 16. I dropped 10,000 on the play right now. I got about 9,000 shares. You understand? This is how simple it is. Goes from the dollar 60 or dollar 14 to 14, 314. Just made 18 grand. I'm up 27, but only 18 of it's profit. That's pretty much that simple. Now, granted, everybody's position size is not the same, so don't chase. If you don't got 10, don't do it. And if you only got 10, don't do it. Never gamble. Risk to reward is the ratio. So I understand if I'm putting 10, it's less than 1% of what my portfolio size is. So I can take the hit if it was to go the opposite way. But I do that to get a quick gain. I'll make a quick 20 grand most likely. And in that situation, I'll take out 10 grand. And me and the family have a nice week. Go do some shit, chill, get back in the market next week. And we'll look for another play. But understanding market sentiment, understanding how the market is going to move, understanding structure, understanding price targets, understanding your entry and your exit, having your emotional disciplines, having rules, having emotional intelligence. These are the things we speak of, but it allows you to be an elite trader because you don't have to go off of what everybody's telling you. You can go off of what you see. So, like I said, in this situation, they would tell you don't buy this play. It's at a dollar 16. It was at 387. It's been doing nothing but going down. I know better. I know it to be consolidating. So when you go on a further time frame out and you go on a monthly, you go, oh snap! It's just basically in the same range been since it started. Matter of fact, it's actually back at the level it was at before it nosedive to about 24 cents. So you go, well, wait, nosedive at 24 cents. So there's a possibility it nosedives. Well, where's the last place it went? 41 cents. So there's a possibility this comes all the way down to 41 cents and then does the move to go higher. And the last move that it did, just to give just to give some context to it, the last time it did this, because I know people are like, well, $3, 40 cents. I don't know. Okay, well, let me help you know. It came down to 22 cents. Bitcoin had a rally. It went from 22 cents to $8.22. That was when Bitcoin
That's
was
crazy.
nowhere near $100,000. So now that I'm telling you this, you should be able to take that information and understand if I catch this play either now or at 50 something cent, I should probably load up and see if they have more Bitcoin than what they had previously, which they do. And Bitcoin's going to go higher than it previously went before. So we'll have what we call supply and demand shock. That's like, say you had on some Levi jeans and I gave you $1 million. Could you get the million in it? I don't think so. That pocket's gonna blow up. That's called supply shock. You can't fit the money in the pocket, so now the pocket's gonna explode, and now you have to reevaluate the price of what jeans cost because you're gonna need a brand new set to put this money together. So that's the concept. So instead of eight, and just to be safe, don't look for it to do the same thing it did in the previous cycle, because eight is the target it went to last time. I would anticipate it to hit the eight and go higher. But just to be fair, you cut it in half. Let's say it only goes to four. That's still a 4x or a 5x. Now, I'm no rocket science, but remember we were just talking about 11 flips. If you've been saving and you got $30,000 sitting in the bank account and it ain't doing shit but collecting no interest, I'd go put it into a play like that and get me a quick little 4 or 5x on my money, which takes me about, I would say, three standard deviations into the 11 moves up. And then at this point, I could play the game on easy mode. I don't even got to go to work. I can call in shit. I could pick up dividends. I could go start a business. I could go buy a business. I could buy somebody else's business. It get fun when you get to those levels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking that truth, talking that talk, man. Yeah, that's definitely what we on here, man, at BYB University. Make sure you trading with the best, you know what I'm talking about. And make sure you writing down these plays. Make sure that you are not just writing them down, but you are employing them. You are applying them. Application. That's what I wanted to say in there, man. All these tongue twisted words I'm saying, words I ain't never said before. Cause my brother talking them truth,
Wait till
man.
we start giving the people crypto, man. I'm only giving them the stocks right now because I don't want to get, crypto is a whole nother animal. People be looking at the stock market like, oh, it's up 50%. Yeah. What if it was 1,000% and like every day? Like crypto is a different animal. So like I said, we're gonna walk down those avenues. That's for another time, another topic on another episode. But
Amen,
we're gonna be
amen, man. Make sure you turn off that stove, man. My bro been cooking since this live started. Make sure y'all run this one back. He started off talking about the Nvidia earnings, went through the numbers,
yeah,
they beat it on every level.
she beat on every line.
You know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Crypto AI to the moon. They're gonna keep going. So any of these pullbacks is basically a discount buy.
Yeah.
Get you some 50% off PlayStations, basically.
Yeah, and with that, he also talked about mastering bear market, just to always be mindful of the macroeconomic factors that can play a factor into your portfolio. He did mention the thing that happened with Ukraine and your boy JD, who also happens to be related to Palantir, which is also a play, which is at a discount. And so you also got to see things that play out because in the effect too, they were talking about their very own machines in there that Palantir supplies on a different level. And so it's different things moving, different trump cards being played in different ways. So you got to do your part and make sure that you take yourself to the moon, to the sun more specifically, because the sun powers everything. You know, the moon gets its light from the sun because the sun is always up there. You dig? So make sure that you get back in tune with the source, the most high source, and get back to righteousness and take care of your family, take care of your lovepreneurship, take care of that BYB, that hive. This is our hive community right here. That's why we give that free game. That's why we give that wisdom because it's important for our people to take this thing to the next level, to be able to be better versions of themselves. And the only way to do that is to be honest, true, and transparent. And we also got to make sure that we are committed, got to make sure that we're consistent, and got to make sure that we care. And if we care, then we will never dare to fail, to lose. You dig? And then also, lastly, we want to make sure that we, through those three C's, get to that connection. And then we'll also turn all these cons into pros. So it leads to that divine protection, that 50. You know what I'm talking about? So make sure you take yourself to the next level. Keep going,
It is.
keep flowing, keep rolling. Anything you want to close on with, my brother?
Nah, man, just make sure y'all looking out for Palantir and SoFi. Catch those discount deals, and you're gonna be loving it in April.
Yeah, yeah. Catch them deals. Catch them deals. You know what I'm talking about. Have a plan. Have a long term plan. More specifically, that's why it's deals right now because you got to have that long term play. And on that note, we closing out. Appreciate you, my bro. Keep
You
cooking.
already know. I keep have you out.